Hello, welcome back to Healing Mama podcast. I am Val, aka Healing Mama, and today's episode is episode 14, redirection. So I will be talking about redirection and how that's impacted me and what my thoughts are. So we'll start off with our quote. We actually have two today. The first one is, "What is meant to be will never pass you by. If it does, it was never yours to have. There was something better than what you thought you deserved." The second one is the gifts of rejection. Rejection comes with two gifts, redirection and protection. When it's redirection, it is God's way of telling you to turn another way so you don't waste your time on the wrong path. As a protection, it is God shielding you from harm's way and saving you from what could destroy you. So in both ways, there's signs from our higher power, who for me is God, that we are being redirected and we are taken care of. And so my husband and I have often talked about destiny and how we feel on the belief of purpose. And so he's very different in the sense that he doesn't believe in divine destiny or purpose. He thinks everything kind of just happens based on our actions, where I believe that everything is kind of intertwined. We are allowed to be co-creators. We do have free will, but I do feel that we do have a purpose in this life, and we do have divine destiny. Of course, the decisions that we make on a daily basis does affect that divine purpose and that destiny, but I feel like the first quote said is, "What is for us won't miss us." And so really just focusing on redirection is sometimes looked at as rejection, and sometimes it is rejection, but it's always with a purpose. And again, taking it back to a couple episodes previous to this one, is life is happening for us, not to us. And so throughout this healing process, I have really looked back at the past in my life and have seen that the redirection, aka rejection, at times was redirection and helping me for my greatest and highest good. And so everything that I've dealt with in life, from marriage to my work, my career, what I'm doing for a living, to parenting, it all has boiled down to lining me up for my greatest and highest good. And so some examples are, like I said previously, I had a position where I was wrongfully terminated and I was devastated and I felt rejected and unwanted. And to look back and be able to see that in that moment, I was like, God, what's happening? Like, I don't understand. Like, why aren't you looking out for me? I love this job. And it was really God realigning me with something that was better, but I just couldn't see it. And a lot of the times I feel like we can't get past ourselves because we are so set in what we want, and we don't realize that there are things that are better out there for us, but we're comfortable, so we're not going to jump. And so currently in my life, I've been in my career for, I would say, going on 15 plus years now. And I feel realignment, and it's so scary because I'm like, okay, I've done this. I've loved what I've been doing for the past 15 years. I love who I am. And I feel confident and comfortable in my career. And so when now I can feel the shift coming, and I can feel it, getting closer, and it's frightening and terrifying. And rather than push it away, I'm like, okay, God, what you have for me is not going to pass me by, and what's for me will come. And whatever it is, I know that I'm going to be okay. But it is scary. And a lot of the times I think that we're so scared to get back into that alignment and accept the redirection that we stop ourselves from things that could have happened or can happen that would have been amazing or that could be amazing. And so we're so frightened and terrified because we're in our comfort zone, we're in our bubble. And so to see past that is something that is extremely difficult for some of us, including myself. And we're like, okay, no, like, this is what I've been doing for so long. This is what I live and breathe. To have to learn something or to have to step out, let's say it's a new business venture, to have to step out, start from the beginning, not know if you're going to be successful or not, And, that kind of puts in financial burdens and financial stresses for you and your family. And so to come out of that level of comfortability is scary at that level to where I'm like, okay, God, whatever it is that you have for me, I'm going to take it. And I know that I'm going to learn something at the end of the day. And that's life. We are, allowed to have free will and pick and choose. And so, even though that I didn't have the option to be like, hey, I don't want to be terminated, I'm going to stay here. Sometimes it's not the case. Sometimes we do have choices. We have choices to level up. We have choices to stay where we're at. We have choices to start over. So not every situation is the same, but learning that when you go into these situations, if you are working on yourself and you know that at the end of the day, what is for you won't pass you by and everything is happening for your greatest and highest good, it's a little bit more easier to kind of take it in and be like, okay, I'm ready. Is it still scary? Hell yeah, 100%. It is still scary. But we are able to kind of take it in and look at things with a positive perspective. And I think of it also in my life prior to my career. I'm not ashamed to tell you what I've been through, what I'm going through, or what the case is. I will always be direct with you because that is my goal on this podcast, is to be 100% genuine in myself. And so with that comes the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so with me, with high school, I struggled in high school. I was not somebody who school came easily. My husband, I always tell him, like, you're lucky, school came easy to you. My son, school comes easy to him, but that's not all of us. And so school was something that I definitely struggled with. I went to high school. I went as I got older, and it was my senior year. I went to school where I was able to work part-time and then go to school part-time. So I was able to kind of juggle both. And with that, I was able to finish my classes early. I was on track to graduate, and then test. So the state testing that's required in order for you to get your diploma. I could not for the life of me pass that. Specifically math. I passed everything else, but I could not pass math. And so at the end of the day, I ended up just giving up. And I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. I have my career. I'm working. My job's not requiring me to provide a diploma. And I was doing great until finally ended up working in a position that was a government contract on base. And at the beginning, it didn't require me to provide proof. Then, a couple months, almost a year down the road, they're requiring me to get a CAT card, which is the card that you need to get on base. And so in order to do that, I had to provide my diploma, some references, and a couple other things. And I was like, oh shit, they're going to find out I don't have a high school diploma. And at that point in time, I was doing payroll. I loved payroll. I was happy. I was, enjoying it. It was an easy job, something that came to me. I know it sounds crazy because I failed math, but payroll was easier. We had a system. It was really just kind of data entry. But needless to say, I wasn't able to provide that proof. And so I freaked out and I resigned. So right then and there, that was me having the redirection. And little did I know that in that redirection, even though it was scary, I was kind of redirecting myself, one, to check myself and realize that, hey, you got to make this happen. You have to get your diploma. So I went back to school and I did get my diploma. I ended up enrolling in college a couple of years later. So I redirected myself to do what was best for myself. And secondly, I got into the career that I'm in now. So human resources, recruitment, HR, all of that good stuff, which has aligned me to, do everything that I am doing now and have the life that I have. And so if I would have stayed or given some excuse or asked for time, I would probably still be in payroll. And that is the redirection and the rejection that shows me when I look back now, hey, everything is happening for me, not to me. Everything is happening with a purpose. And I'm so, so grateful. And there's tons of ways that I could see this in my life, tons. And I won't bore you with the stories, but I can see it. I feel it. And even when it comes to these podcasts, I didn't have this podcast scheduled to come out for this weekend, this Friday. I had wrote a completely different podcast, but really and truly, when I meditate and when I work on myself and I kind of spend time focusing what I'm going to do for this week's podcast, because it is week by week, because I do want to go with my heart and my soul and the direction and guidance that I feel that I have. I had a completely different one until I'm like, hey, it's been pulling at my heart. I'm pulling at my heart. Rejection and redirection. So I know that somebody watching this at this point in time is going through redirection or maybe going through rejection. And I can tell you that I'm going through redirection with you. I can feel it coming. I don't know what it is. I have an idea, but I can feel it coming, and we're going to be okay. At the end of the day, it's all happening for us, and it's scary. And we're like, oh shit, I don't know what's going to happen. I am a control freak in the sense of, I'm a planner. I like to always make sure I'm crossing my T's, dotting my I's. I like to have a backup plan. That's me. So to go into redirection and not necessarily know if it's going to work out is terrifying. It's something that keeps you up at night. And I am coming to the place where I'm like, okay, I'm at peace with what we have, God. What you have for me is coming for me, and good, bad, ugly, we're going to take it in stride. And I know that life is happening for me, not to me. Everything is happening so that I can learn, so I can become a better person. And at the end of the day, I am going to live the life that I am creating, the life that I deserve. And so with that comes stepping out of my comfort zone, as much as it is terrifying. And, what I'm realizing through this journey is, as much as I am changing and I'm, opening myself up and I'm learning and I'm growing, it's even scary in the sense of sometimes redirection and rejection comes from the people that have been in your life, the people that have been in your circle. And so I've seen that my circle was already small because I'm just that type of person. I'm very much to myself, which is crazy because somebody who is very to herself is doing a podcast. But I want to help you guys, and this also helps me. But my circle was already very small. And so now I see it getting smaller. And the more that I'm healing and the more that I'm setting boundaries and the more that I'm working on myself, I see that my circle is getting even smaller. And that just means that the places that I'm going, I'm not meant to carry everybody with me. And I want you to know that you do not have to carry the weight of everyone else with you. There's places that you're going to go that you can only go through that door by yourself. You cannot bring other people into it because the door is meant for you to go through. So you have to just let go. And it's crazy because it's people that, I haven't done anything to, and it's just God realigning me. And so I'm like, okay, at the time of me losing people, or the time of people kind of drifting away, or whatever the case may be, it does hurt. A trigger of mine is rejection from people. And so I have to kind of pump my brakes, take a couple breaths, and, really go through the motions and really look at, okay, this is happening for a reason. This is happening for me, not to me. What can I learn from this? What I'm taking away at this time is God is protecting me. God is protecting me from people or things that do not serve my greatest and highest good. God is taking me to levels where these people can't come with me because this is meant for me. And so that's also scary. And it almost scares my husband at times too. He's like, hey, what if you're so in line with the person that you're supposed to be? And I always tell him, I'm telling God, anything that doesn't serve my greatest and highest good, I release it. And I only want to experience the things in life that serve my greatest and highest good, that serve my greatest and highest purpose. And so at times, he is like, hey, what if you're so aligned with yourself that at one point in time, I don't align with you, and I'm not for your greatest and highest good. And I just tell him, just take a deep breath. We're going day by day here. I love you. You're my best friend. Do I know what the future holds? No. But I can tell you that I see you in my future, that I love you, that I don't want to let you go. And, I see him scared because he sees actual changes in my life. And he's like, wow, like everything that you're doing, I do see a difference. And it's crazy because you are getting realigned. And as much as that is a wonderful feeling, it's scary. And then I'm sure that it's also scary for him from the outside looking in, because he knows what I'm saying. He knows what I'm doing. He knows that I'm working on myself. So to see that the people that don't align with my greatest and highest good are being removed is terrifying. And so I just want you to take a deep breath and really make sure that, you're taking care of yourself, and you know that everything is happening for you, not to you. Things that are meant for you will not pass you by. You got this. You're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. And we're just going to continue to push on, push through, and know that we're going to look back one day and be like, wow, that really happened. And I was terrified of it. And kind of chuckle, because I know I do. I chuckle. I'm like, wow, like I was so scared of that. And I am so glad that it happened now. I'm so glad that it happened. I'm so grateful, because I live a great life, and I will continue to live a great life. And people may come and go, but at the end of the day, I am strong in myself. I am strong in what I believe. And that's all I need at the end of the day. And I promise you, as you work on yourself, you will build that strength to know. In the past, if you were to tell me, hey, you're going to lose people, or, this is going to happen and it's going to be scary, I would say, no, I don't want to do it, to where I would stop myself. I wouldn't want to work on myself because I would be terrified, because I'm so complacent and comfortable, or I was so complacent and comfortable in the space that I was living in at that point in time, that I wouldn't want what was best for myself if it meant change. And now I embrace change, and I want it to where I'm like, you know what? It's okay if things happen. It's okay if it doesn't go according to the plan that I thought I was going to have, or the life that I thought I was going to have, because I know that whatever I had planned, God has something so much better for me, or your higher power, whatever you believe in. And I always want you to know that, what my beliefs are my opinion, my thoughts, my beliefs, and you don't have to hold that to you. I just want you to log on here, listen, and feel whatever you're feeling. If it's a different higher power for you, more power to you. That, you just know that you're not alone, that what you're going through, somebody else is going through it too. And I feel like somebody that's watching this right now is going through redirection or rejection, and they're lost and feeling scared. And I just wanted to share this with you. Like I said, it wasn't something that I had planned. This is all kind of just coming from my heart, no notes today other than the quotes. But really just let you know we're going to be okay. I send you so much love, positivity, happiness, peace. And I hope that you're not afraid to jump into the path of healing and self-growth and self-love and self-care, because it is a life changer. And everything that comes at you through life's timeline is something that you're able to manage, as long as you're taking care of yourself and you're able to realize that you're going to be okay. I appreciate you taking the time to listen today or watch, however you're streaming. And I want to let everyone know we are streaming on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, and Podcastle. So feel free to stream any of those ways. I hope everyone has an amazing weekend. And until next time, bye guys.